Hi, I'm John Walsh, your Republican candidate for Congress in the 8th District. All of us who have lived in the 8th District for the past 20 years are well aware that we have lost our voices in Congress. The Democrats in Annapolis, following the census of 2000 and 2010, deliberately adjusted the congressional maps to make sure we lost 2 Republican seats in Congress. The practice, known as gerrymandering, is not illegal, at least not yet, but it is undemocratic and corrupt. So what can we do about it? First, we have to support Governor Hogan and our local Republican candidates for the Assembly and Senate. The battle for fair and equitable representation starts in Annapolis. Second, we need to support Amy Hoeber versus David Trone in Maryland's 6th Congressional District. And third, we need to defeat Jamie Raskin, the incumbent Democratic congressman in the 8th District. Mr. Raskin, as a Maryland state senator in 2011, in an act of pure partisanship, voted to take away an existing Republican seat in Congress. For Mr. Raskin, it's time for payback. Defeating Mr. Raskin will be difficult, not impossible, but we will need Democratic votes. Not all Democrats share Mr. Raskin's socialist democratic views, nor do they believe our collective future is best served by the status quo, partisanship, gridlock, and divisiveness. But there are alternatives to the current situation if we have the courage and commitment to really support change. Let me give you some examples. 1, we can demand that each congressional candidate supports term limits. 2, we can demand that each congressional candidate supports expanding the number of congressional districts. 3, we can demand that each congressional candidate agrees to elect a nationally respected leader who is not a member of Congress to be an independent Speaker of the House. And 4, we can demand that each congressional candidate agrees to vote to provide the necessary resources to unresolved national issues, especially immigration and health care. Let me explain each one of these examples. First, 80% of U.S. voters support term limits. Term limits incentivize citizens to be more involved as voters as well as candidates. Second, our population per district is currently 750,000 and expected to be around 900,000 following the 2020 census. Compare these statistics with those of Britain and France, whose districts have a population of 100,000. For the past 100 years, Congress has failed to increase the number of districts to match the growth in population. If we use 200,000 as the acceptable size per district, Maryland would have 30 districts, not 8, and based on party affiliation, Republicans would have at least 12 congressional representatives, not 1, as is the case today. Third, we can dramatically reduce the partisanship and gridlock in Congress by members electing independent, nationally recognized leader who will run the House in a bipartisan manner with the objective of generating the best possible legislation. James Madison, the major architect of our Constitution, gave us this option, and I believe it is time to take advantage of our founders' wisdom. And fourth, Congress has not had a major structural change to the committee structure since 1946, and the priorities are different now. We can improve the results of Congress by creating a more flexible and supportive structure, starting with creating standing committees for immigration and health care. Standing committees have specialized staff to support Congress. The benefit of all these organizational reforms will be to dramatically increase the value of your vote, reduce the power of special interests and corporate interests, and improve the effectiveness of Congress for all of us. During the primary, I walked 100 miles through the district, starting at the Pennsylvania border and ending up at the Capitol in D.C. I met a lot of people and waved to a lot more. In the next several months, I hope to meet more of you as I continue to walk and campaign. Ultimately, we get the form of government we vote for and fight for. I'm ready to fight for you. Are you ready to join with me? Please go to our website, www.johnwalshforcongress.com, and get involved. Thank you for your time and attention.